Hi guys, and welcome to the Oculus Hut series on the VR web. This is video 11 and I want to show you two things. The first is a small gallery that I created using Blender's Cycle Rend engine, and the second thing is a new feature introduced in Janus VR 21.5, which is available for download over at the janusvr.com website. Right, so firstly, this is just a small gallery that has lighting, which is a little more realistic than the previous rooms I've created. There are still some issues with the lighting in this room, as the Blender Cycle's render engine baking feature is still only an experimental feature, but it's interesting nonetheless, and it's definitely an improvement on not having any lighting baked at all. So I'll try to make this room available later on, since it's only 264K without the music, and the artwork has been provided by Gianna Kaye. You can reach her at hecticred.deviantart.com. So now for the headline news. So Janus VR has introduced ghosts into the world of VR web. It's probably easiest if I just show you what these are. So first of all, let me make a recording of me walking through this room. Simply press Ctrl G and walk around. This outputs a ghost text file which describes my movement. I can then reference this back in my VR web file, and there you go. I can see my previous actions, my movement around the room. It's kind of like the ghost feature in Super Mario Kart. So are there any real practical uses for this? Well, I think so. The most memorable and powerful VR experience I've had so far has come from Half-Life, and it involves NPCs. There's a scene at the beginning of Half-Life 2 where you arrive at a train station, and then you realise that you've arrived within a dystopian world. Minutes later you need to pass numerous armed guards. I remember two distinct feelings at this point. The first one is I did not want to be too close to anybody with a baton, and then secondly, I did not feel comfortable having these gorillas behind me. I kept on having to look behind me even after I'd walked past them. In VR web, the ghosts give you an opportunity to have non-verbal dialogue with anybody entering the room. This works even without a face, eyes or a voice. For example, when I walked into this room the first time, my question was, paintings, let me see. When I walked around with this guy in here, my focus changed immediately. I found myself asking, who is that? What's he looking at? You'll know what I mean if you've tried walking through any environment in VR with NPCs. Equally in this scenario I would ask, so what's interesting about that particular picture? They all look the same to me. You can see that Lee over at VR Sites has seen this too. I wanted to see what this fellow was looking at. It's a great way to grab attention, and it is essentially VR mocap. To be in a room with others also feels less lonely in what is currently a one-player application. And equally, there is a sense of privacy when the ghosts have gone, something that was not so obvious to me before the ghosts were introduced. There's still plenty of things still to try out. Recreate the feeling of being within a crowd, a protest, being within an army regiment of soldiers in formation, in the front lines of the battle, or being under siege. Anyway, catch you next time. Do subscribe or like if you want to keep track of the growth of the VR web, and see you later.